Everyone knows the iconic saying, a dog is a man's best friend. But if you take a look at the history of English Bulldogs, you will see that this is not always the case, and that these dogs were treated more as a property than friends. Through thorough research of this topic, I believe that I can confidently share about this matter. I'll be discussing several topics surrounding the English Bulldog, including the origin, how it survived extinction, and modern day health issues. So here's the English Bulldog, if you didn't know. Although Bulldogs are known to be short, fat, and have squished faces, they haven't always been like this. According to HooserBulldogRescue.com, Bulldogs originally had sporty build and were used for many things. So they first appeared in England in the 15th century to be used as like farm dogs. They controlled livestock, and they had a very different build than what they do now. They looked something along the lines of this. They were more like sporty, so they could control the livestock and like herd them, basically. That's another picture of what they would look like. But eventually they started to be using for bull baiting, which is a sport basically where you put the dogs into an arena with a bull, and their basic job was to bite the bull's nose and bring it to the ground. So if they would end once they brought it to the ground, or all the dogs died. And people would like bet on the sport. It was really inhumane and everything like that. But eventually, in 1835, there was a Cruelty of Animals Act that was passed to end the sport. Due to the outlawing of bull baiting, many believed that the breed would go extinct because it no longer had any use. So, but there was several people who wanted to keep the breed alive, so they did many things to try to keep it alive. So one of the things they did was they exported the dog to the US and Germany. So in Germany, they used the original Bulldog to help create the Boxer, and then in the US they just continued to use it as a farm dog. They also survived extinction because they were used to make different breeds, like I said, the Boxer, but they're also used to make the American Bulldog and the Oldie English Bulldog. So Boxer, Oldie English Bulldog, American Bulldog. The Oldie English Bulldog was replicated. They used to try to make it look as close as possible as the original Bulldog. And then the American Bulldog was actually credited with saving the breed because they used like the farm dogs that they had left and mixed them together with a few other animals to get that breed. And it was created by John D. Johnson, and that's why one of like the breeds of American Bulldog is called the Johnson, because he created it. Another way they survived extinction was a bunch of people in England wanted to keep the dog, but they wanted to breed out the aggression and make it shorter so it looked cuter and stuff. So they bred it with pugs, and this made the face flatter, legs shorter, larger head, what it looks like now. They had a big underbite, and they were a lot less sporty, but they excessively bred the dog too much and started inbreeding it, so to the point where it had many health issues. So today, according to LuckyPet.com, the English Bulldog is riddled with health issues. Some are right here, but this includes they suffer from many diseases such as bronchiectatic airway syndrome, or BAS. This is due to their short muzzle. It's basically they can't breathe, they have trouble breathing, excessive intolerance to exercise, and difficulty eating because of their squished in face. Thyroid diseases such as hyperthyroidism, which makes them fat because they have bad metabolism, heart disease, and cancer, basically from just all the inbreeding. They also suffer from bone, joint, and skin problems. So some of the skin problems are, they have chronic dysplasia, which is abnormal cartilage growth, that this makes them more likely to have joint, bone, and skin problems. They also have canine hip dysplasia, joint ligament injuries, arthritis, etc. They have lots of joint problems from malformation, as you can see there. The skin problems they have is basically just from all the wrinkles. They get infected or irritated, and it really just makes the dog uncomfortable and hard to live. They also suffer from some irregularities. This includes an inability to control their body temperature, so they have trouble panting, and that's how they regulate their body temperature, but it's hard for them to do it because of their squished in snout. It causes panting, heaving, discolored, flappy tongue, foaming of the mouth, etc. They suffer from eye problems due to the shallow eye pockets and lack of eye fluids, which makes debris get into there. And then most of all, they suffer from difficulty reproducing. So the mom has too short of a hip bone or like pelvis bone that they can't naturally give birth to the dog because the puppies have too big of heads. So they usually have to have help from a human. So although these health issues seem traumatic, it is part of the dog's history and it's important. Today I've informed you more about the origin of the English Bulldog, how it almost went extinct, and its different health issues. I think it's important to see that these dogs have not been treated like man's best friend, but rather had to undergo unethical breeding to be suited to man's liking. Overall, I hope you learn more about the English Bulldog and its history.